Welcome back. I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector, and we'll get started on our next tournament play. Now, I've completed them with several different factions, so I think this tournament I will be playing with Tyranids and Chaos. They're not super well balanced for tournament play, so I suspect this is not going to be competitive, but we'll try it out to see what I can do. So our first match here is going to be the Chaos Demons versus Adeptus Sororitas. We're playing on the settlement map. It's a 1,500 point army size, 8 turn limit with a 60 point target, so we'll see what we can do. But typically these sisters can really brutalize the forces of chaos, because they can have heavy flamers that are good against the infantry, which makes you not want to do that, and they also have several very powerful units that will allow them to kill your guys in melee. So I'm not sure how this is going to go, but I got 2 Bloodthirsters, 2 Demon Princes, 3 Blood Masters, and then with the leftover points I had 1 Bloodletter. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully I can jump into areas to capture these points and see what happens here. Now the point should be allocated on my turn, so it's probably most important that I take these resources pretty quickly. But it was actually kind of funny. I've been playing at night here after work, and in my mind, when it was my turn to play, I was thinking that, oh, I'm going to be playing against the Tau here and not the Sisters of Battle. So I was kind of scared to advance my forces all the way, thinking that the Tau were going to snipe me with their Pathfinders here. And so I kind of kept these guys back a little bit. I was like, oh, I'm not quite sure where I want to be. Let's keep you guys safe. Now, I think that's still a reasonable thing to do, because they usually will have Seraphim that have their Infernal Pistols that are going to allow them to easily snipe your guys. But I really should have just moved one of these Bloodletters to capture some points here. So that was definitely kind of foolish in retrospect for me, knowing that I'm fighting the Sisters, because I should have had them up here to body block. Because really, if I would have had these guys over here, I could have jumped to both of those center locations here, because they're close enough to be within jump range with the Bloodthirsters, whereas that one on the left side of the map is not. So I think it makes more sense to have the rest of those guys over here to fight over this spot here. But had I run down and captured these points, I think that would have been a much smarter move, and would have allowed me to have a 3-to-1 point in my favor here. So because I don't have anybody there, he's able to run up with his Arcoflagellants here and just take that point back here, and then he runs the Arcoflagellants up there to take up this point, and then the third point here as well. Now he's starting to get the Seraphim all grouped together, because that's always a good option when you're playing these matches, because they can just do so much damage, and then they also get a zone of control. So Seraphim are definitely the MVPs on a lot of these maps. And then by keeping him behind cover there, it also allows him to be in a position where he can just attack whoever he wants here. Now he's got Sisters of Battle, Celestians with the Flamers, more Seraphim, so he's got at least 3 of them. Now the Bloodthirster here, he can only take so many different points here, or attack so many different models. He only has 4 splash, so it took him 2 attacks to take out those Arcoflagellants. And so it's like, well, I can take this back, I'll get the points, but I think even if I end up pulling him back here, I think he should still probably be able to kill me. But it's like, well, we'll try to pull him back to see if I can keep this guy alive now, because I have to be a little bit cautious with how I do this, so we don't get ourselves killed. And now we have this issue where we know he's going to have the Rhino around here, because he's popped smoke, which is going to increase the evasion. So I ran these guys down here, and you can see he's got the Celestians there with the Flamer, so they're going to be able to kill these Bloodletters without much difficulty. So I smack with this guy, and I start missing all of my attacks. So I'm like, well, we'll do it with a free attack then. And I missed that attack. So I'm like, oh my god, am I really not going to be able to capture this point back? And he hits. But then it's like, okay, so I've got to land at least another attack, but it's a 35% evasion, so it's like, okay, and you've got 25. So it's like, I can't even hit these guys. So it's like, shit, alright, well, I'm not capturing that point back. So then it's like, am I going to jump in the center and get engaged by the penitent engines? Or do I run down here and try to take out this rhino? And interestingly, I didn't quite understand why the damage was so low against the rhino. Because I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Usually you can two-strike these rhinos and get the kill, but what happened is he has the Canonus. And I should have deduced that that's what was going on here, but I didn't. And so I'm like, oh, the Canonus is in there, most likely. And she has put that damage debuff and bonus HP on the Rhino, so that's why it was so strong and why I couldn't get through it. But now the problem is I now have a Bloodthirster over there that did practically no significant damage to any units there. I haven't captured the point back. He's now got 3 points in his favor. And we know he's going to have somebody in that Rhino that should be able to just run around and start attacking my Bloodthirster and do significant amounts of damage. So it's like, shit, not only did I not capture a point, he now has an advantage here, and my guys are going to be taken out most likely. Because it's like both my Bloodthirsters are in major damage. And unexpectedly he runs up with the sisters here and starts shooting me there. And he'll get another attack. It's like, damn, now he's done over 300 damage here. He's got these other Seraphim here, so they're going to be enough to be able to kill the Bloodthirster. And they still have enough movement that they're able to hide. So now the Bloodthirster's down. And here comes the Canoness. And so she's going to do amazing amounts of damage against my Bloodthirster here. So she by herself just about killed him. And she's got the Repentia there, like anybody else who's reasonable would have. And then he does his stupid little kick thing. He runs up the Penitent Engine to flame through my Bloodletters, which he should do, which is absolutely the right thing to do.
More skulls for the Skull Throne.
And then the Celestians are using their bonus health and armor there. So it's like I've got to capture this point back because I'm losing so many points here. It's like a 4-to-1. But I just can't seem to cut through these guys here. So it's like, okay, I've taken him out now. And it's like I can capture this point back. Now I summon, because I was hoping to maybe get like a skull cannon or something, but that was not what happened. I think what I should have done instead is just killed that Penitent Engine, because now it's like I wasted 2 attacks there, and which I could have killed, and in exchange for doing that, I've now just summoned a unit that Penitent Engine's going to be able to easily kill the next turn.
Forward, blood for the Blood God.
So we summon these guys down here. And I'm starting to move the Prince over this way, because I always think I can attack around the corner here, but that's a true corner with the building, so that actually obscures. So it's like now I can't even use that bonus attack where I could have on the Arcoflagellants. So it's like I need to kill these Repentia, because they're going to just be able to do too much damage to me. Now I could run over and attack the Canoness, but chances are she's just going to be able to kill everybody. So I'm like, well, alright, since I didn't kill the Penitent Engine with my other guys, I'll just bring this guy over here to kill the Penitent Engine. And take him out to try to keep these Bloodletters alive. But it's like he still has those Celestians over there. So it's like, well, let's bring you over here. I'll bring the Bloodthirster here to try to body block and keep these guys, because the Canonist shouldn't be able to reach him, was my thought process there. And then the Celestians can't do enough damage to get a kill. So it's like we'll start bringing these ones over here with the hope of being able to finish off those Archiflagellants and take some things back.
Lord of Rage, command me.
And then we'll keep him back a little bit, so hopefully we can start debuffing the enemy units. And then my hope is that with this dual Blood Crushers, we should be able to do some charge attacks and maybe get some kills.
God's rage guides us.
But it's definitely not looking good for us here. So I'm not quite sure why he decided to attack the Bloodletters with the Infernal Pistols. I think he'd rather go for the Blood Crushers. But I think the thought process is he knows that the Blood Crushers are kind of weak in their current state, so they're not a huge threat against all these multi-modeled count units. So he runs up those ones. And those Archiflagellants are coming for me. And here's what I was not expecting. I was not thinking he was going to have enough momentum to be able to buff everybody's movement. But now he effectively gave the Canoness all those movement buffs. So now she's easily going to come up here and kill my Bloodthirster. She's getting tons of momentum. And with that momentum, her evasion is going up. And my forces can't effectively kill the Canoness once that happens, because their chance to hit is so low. So I'm like, well, I wish there was some way when you're using these abilities you could choose the charge pathway, but that is not how this works. So I thought, well, maybe if I can do dual attacks, I can maybe have enough damage to kill some of these Seraphim here, even after I take those charge attacks. But this doesn't do enough damage, so even after 2 full attacks with the maximum amounts, it doesn't allow them to do enough damage to even wipe out a single model here. So that's pretty disappointing. So it's like, well, let's run you guys down here, just try to wipe these guys out. And unfortunately, you did overwhelm them, and you then missed your follow-up attack. So what that effectively means is now instead of being able to capture back this point, I have now lost this point capture, and then these Seraphim should pretty easily be able to take out the Blood Crushers.
Blood will flow. Lord of Rage, command me.
And he prudently moved the Celestians over there too, so now I can't capture this point back. So it's like I'm trying to chop through these Archiflagellants, but he's missing all of his attacks despite having a good chance to hit. So it's like, alright, they've effectively served their role well. And it's like she used his the ability to take one of his command points away, so I can't summon anybody. So it's like, let's just debuff these guys here. And then my hope is that with the minus accuracy and everything, maybe I can get some kills here, but it's like I only have a 39% chance to hit.
Face me, cowards!
So it's like, well, you might as well kill the Arcoflagellants then. And then the following turn you should be able to come over here and take out those Celestians. And that's going to mean the Canonist is going to be over here to be able to kill, but then at 39% chance to hit, I don't think it makes sense to do that. So this is definitely a killer combo for our opponent here. He is just wiping the floor with us.
Lord of Rage, command me! I am the Bloodmaster.
And then once we kill her, she'll start buffing the momentum gains of everybody else, which is unfortunate. But this is the thing that's weird about this game, is it's like some units get to preserve their original attacks for their counters, like the Celestian, or not Celestian, the Canonist. When you attack her, she'll still get those 2 attacks, where if you attack the Bloodletter, he gets his, you know, little kick thing that does 50 damage instead of a full major hit. The Thornback gets his full attacks, other units don't, so I just don't get how the developers of the game decided to decide which units are going to keep their original attack and which ones aren't. So, but that is part of the reason why Chaos feels so weak, is, you know, they have the potential to do some amazing damage, but then they feel like they're kind of nerfed here. Now, I lost this match definitely because of overextension and very poor play. So, and our opponent is very, very good, and he definitely took every opportunity to penalize our stupid mistakes here. So, he definitely deserves the full victory and accolades here. Now, this is the first 60-point match I've played before, and I really do not like that, because you have to really just focus on the points, and I kind of like the 80-point target better, even if it's a 1,500-point army size. I feel like the 60-point target is just a little bit too quick to bring the game to an end. And I'm so annoyed with the Canonist here. It's like I just want to kill her, because it's like it doesn't matter about anything else here. Maybe I should have focused on getting an extra point here to get to raise my score a little bit. But that damn Canonist, I just needed to kill her. I was just so pissed off about it. It's like, please just kill her.
I am the Bloodmaster.
And it's like you can attack the Seraphim, but you're not going to be able to do much for damage with their evasions and everything going. So, well done to our opponent. Definitely kicked our ass. Something fierce here. Had some interesting shows. He played with the Arcoflagellants very well. That is the way that you can use them to body block points. And I think especially if you're playing a 60-point target, I think that actually works out really well. Because they have the movement, they actually have a pretty decent evasion, and if you start popping smoke on top of them, that definitely makes it very hard to get that kill and to get them off of there, especially against Forces of Chaos, which don't really have units that have lots of attacks. You know, maybe in retrospect I should have gone with like a Fleshhound build or something, because then I would have those Flamer attacks, but then his Flamers would just counteract me. Not quite sure what the best way to do this for. I definitely think the Summoner build is not a good way to go against the Sisters, though, because they can just easily snipe your powerful summoning units, and given how aggressive of a playstyle you need to be able to do this 60-point target, this was an absolute terrible build to do on this one. But very good job to our opponents here. He did an excellent job buffing up that Rhino, so I couldn't get the kill there. I didn't really appreciate what was going on. I ended up missing my attacks. You know, had I been able to kill that Rhino, I could have taken out their Repentia on the Canonist, and that would have worked out well, but I would have needed to have my Demon Prince attack that as well, and I just needed to stack things up and just did not think of this the correct way. If I were to try this again, I definitely would have had my two bloodthirsters on the right side of the map here to be able to reinforce each other, and then taking these 2 points here in addition to my point in the back, and then fought over that left side with a bunch of lower tier infantry, I think would have been a much more effective way of playing it. But by having such powerful units that can only focus fire with a single attack, with all that evasion that the sisters get, it just allowed them to completely counteract my play style and force selection here, and just created an overwhelming victory in his favor. So hopefully that gives you some idea of how not to play with Chaos against the Sisters, and gives you some good ideas about how to play as the Sisters, because he definitely outmaneuvered us and did a fantastic job. It was a good match by our opponent here, and don't think I have much else to say about it. He just totally tabled us and kicked our teeth in. So thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe. It encourages me to post more content for you. Have a great day.